Hi Stitchy friends, and welcome to my Flosstube channel. My name is Kenzie from Mud Puppy Stitchery, and I am a cross-stitch designer. I am a bird nerd and a wildlife lover, and I enjoy doing all of the crafty things. So if you're new, welcome. I hope that you like what you see, and I hope that you'll continue to follow up with me in all of my future videos. And for my current subscribers, thank you so very much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. Also, before we start, I wanted to really apologize about the car noises and the dogs barking. That's kind of the bad thing about shooting outside, just like this car over here. You get all of the noises. So I am sorry about that. I'm trying to cut it out as much as possible, but I hope you'll forgive me and enjoy the rest of the video. So hi everyone, I hope you've been well. I'm sorry it's been so long. I usually don't like to go a month in between uploads, but life has definitely gotten in the way. So I'm here in my backyard enjoying some sunshine and the beautiful weather, and so that always helps to boost my mood. And it's honestly been a lifesaver because it's been, honestly, a rough couple of weeks. And I can't say too much, but my family and I could really use your prayers because we've been hit with some extremely serious health issues and some job frustrations. So we are barely hanging on. So any good thoughts or prayers would be greatly, greatly appreciated. And so because of that, I've been extremely tired and unmotivated to stitch. So for the first couple of weeks, I really had nothing to show. Luckily, I am feeling a little bit better and my stitching mojo has come back. So I will have some fully finishes and some whips to show you today. I also wanted to apologize for my voice. It might be a little bit gravelly because of seasonal allergies. So let's get started, and I'm really excited to show you what I finished. I think they turned out super cute. My first fully finished piece is called Black-Bellied Whistling Ducks by Lindy Stitches. And this is part of the Bird Crush Bird Club series that I was generously gifted by a stitchy friend. And this is the first one that I've done in the series, and I am excited to start a second one. But this was stitched on 18 count Silver Fox by Fiber on a Whim Fabrics, and it was started on September 28th of 2024. The stitching was completed on April 7th of 2025, and it was fully finished a couple days later. And I just love how it turned out. It's just this cute little hanging ornament, and I think it just turned out adorable. I used most of the called for DMC colors, except I changed the leaves up here to a variegated green floss called Collards by Weeks Dye Works. So this variegated red right here is actually a Threadworks floss, and I was extremely impressed with the quality and the variegation of this thread. Now this floss came with the kit, and I'm definitely interested in checking out more Threadworks flosses because of it. And I decided to do a round finish because I thought that worked best with the shape of the piece, but I really need to invest in some circle templates or a compass that would really help in future finishing. On the back, I just lined the poster board with some cute matching fabric from my stash and tidied up the edges with some rope trim. So a relatively easy finish, and one that can be easily replicated with my future finishes of the Bird Crush Bird Club series. So I love how that turned out. My next fully finished item is Mama Loves You GB's Bird of a Feather Circle Together, and it was stitched on an 18 count Valor by Picture This Plus Fabrics. It was started on October 19th of 2024. The stitching was finished on April 6th of 2025, and it was fully finished a few days later. Now this was actually a stitch along with my friend the Contented Needleworker Kim, and I think she's still plugging away at hers. And her piece looks completely different than my piece because I decided to change the birds to look like native North American birds. And so the colors and some of the beak shapes are adjusted. I think it turned out really great, and I'm really happy with this finish. Initially, I was unsure of how I was going to finish this, and so I actually brought this along to the craft store and started plopping it on things to see what would work. and I eventually found this circle charcuterie cutting board, and it fit perfectly. So I was able to find matching beaded trim as well. So I cut my stitched piece into a circle, and I did a running stitch around the outside edge to help cinch in the piece. And then I cinched in around that a cutout circle of poster board covered in batting. Then I was just able to glue down the piece onto the cutting board, add the trim, and it was done. So a super easy finish, and I love how it turned out. So those were my 2 fully finished items. And let me know if you'd like me to do more tutorials on how I finish things, because it's something that I really enjoy doing, and I find it really tests my creativity and imagination. So next I'd like to move on to my whips. And the first one that I made a lot of good progress on is called Bedelia Bunny by the Artsy Housewife. And this is being stitched on an 18 count shale by Picture This Plus Fabrics, and was started on March 9th of this year. So this is also a stitch along with my friend Marcy of Amnicon Studios, and we are stitching it in honor of our bunnies. So we're changing the colors to look like them. And Marcy just finished hers, and it turned out amazing. Hers is a cute little gray bunny, and mine is stitched to look like our recently passed bunny, Esme, who is mostly black but had a little bit of white on her chin. So I ended up adding a few extra stitches around the chin area just to represent that. And you'll notice I also changed the flowers as well. I really wanted to use some variegated floss that I had in my stash. So the leaves and the stems ended up being Celadon by Weeks Dye Works, and then the flower petals are called Jacaranda by Cottage Garden Threads. So this one I'm pretty far along, and I just need to finish the flowers and it will be a finish. I'll probably make a cute little hanging ornament out of this one as well, because it's easy and I can make some really pretty custom cording using my cording maker. I haven't used that in a while, and I need to get that back out again. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this whip, and I am excited to get back to it. My next whip is the Extraordinary Bird Stitch Along by Lola Crow Designs, and it is a mystery stitch along where you get a new piece of the pattern each week. Right now we're just working on the aviary, and she's given us 6 weeks to finish this portion before she starts sending us the next portion of the patterns. Now I'm making pretty good progress, but I am definitely behind because I think the next portion of the pattern comes out in about a week or 2, so I definitely need to get a move on. But this is what I've been working on. Just the top portion of the aviary, which is super intricate and full of lots of color changes, but looks really fantastic in the end. It's a bit complicated, and you want to be extremely accurate because the portions of the blank spaces are where the birds are going to go. So if you're off by a little bit, you'll have to adjust the bird placement. So I'm trying to be very careful and mindful of the gaps, but I know for sure that I've screwed up in this portion right here. And I couldn't get myself to rip it all out. So I will just have to adjust this portion and fudge it, but that'll be okay. This is being stitched on an 18 count evergreen by Fiber on a Whim Fabrics, and was started on April 9th this year. But yeah, I'm really enjoying working on it, and was starting to get into a really good groove. But I needed to switch projects to work on some more of my whips. So I am excited to get this one out again. Before I hop into more of my whips, I'd like to move on to another segment called Wildlife Minute, where I give a little talk on wildlife, biology, animals, or anything that strikes my fancy. So hopefully you'll learn something new today, and it will encourage you to take a deeper dive into the wonders of the natural world. If you're only here for the stitchy things, feel free to hop to this time point. Hello, this is Wildlife Kenzie, and welcome to today's Wildlife Minute. Today I'd like to talk to you about a bird you've most definitely seen and heard, and that is the red-winged blackbird. Now these loud, boisterous, and distinctive birds are a sure sign that spring is here and they're ready to tell you about it. Oftentimes people might not like red-winged blackbirds because they are extremely bold and territorial, with males dive-bobbing anyone, including humans, if they get too close to their nest. With the males, you'll notice they have bright red patches, and those are called epaulets, so similar to military shoulder patches. And females are most attracted to males with the brightest epaulets, and so males will proudly display them. These birds are extremely widespread and found across most of North America. During breeding season, pairs are not monogamous and males will breed with up to 15 different females. You'll find their nests in marshy, wet places, with usually 3 to 4 eggs per nest. Red-winged blackbirds eat different things during different times of the year, with summer mainly being insects and seeds, and in wintertime they'll find waste grain in farmers' fields. In my circle of friends, we call them police birds because of their bright red plumage and their tenacious manner, keeping you in line and away from their nests. All in all, red-winged blackbirds welcome spring with vigor and vibrancy, letting anyone within earshot know that they are here and they are not to be messed with. I hope you enjoyed today's Wildlife Minute, and let's head back to the stitching. Alright, welcome back. My next whip that I've been working on is called I Stitch by Teresa Kogut, and this is actually a freebie that you can download. And I'll make sure to leave the link in the description box down below. I'm stitching this on an 18 count Oaken by Picture This Plus Fabrics, and it was started on December 10th of 2024. Now this is another one that I'm relatively close to a finish on and have been really enjoying. This time I worked mainly on the skirt portion, the skirt patterning, and so I am ready to just do some fill-in from now on. I'm loving the color combo that I chose for this skirt. The design portion is Bayberry by Weeks Dye Works, and the skirt background is, let me see, Holly, also by Weeks Dye Works. And I think it's such a beautiful combination, and it works really well with the mustard tone of the shirt. Now I only have the pincushion left after the skirt is done, and then it should be completely done. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to fully finish it, so if you have any ideas, please leave them in the comment section down below. I think this would make a really fun hanging ornament, but I have been doing a lot of those lately, so maybe something different? I'm not entirely sure, but I have time to think about it. And speaking of freebies, I have another freebie that I'd like to offer you that I designed, and it's called Bird Whisperer. Now this was a fun little design to create, and it is a cute lady with lots of birds perched on top of her and next to her. So it's really fun, and it's a smaller design with more of a limited color palette. So if you're interested in stitching this, please get in contact with me via email or Instagram, and I can send you the pattern. So I really hope you enjoy the Bird Whisperer. My last whip that I worked on was Jane Atkinson by the Scarlet Letter. And I didn't get a huge amount done on her, but I thought I should show her anyway. Now this is being stitched on an 18 count vellum by Picture This Plus Fabrics, and it was started on Easter of last year. So this is about a year's worth of work. So this is the biggest pattern that I'm currently working on, and so this is definitely a multi-year piece, and I am just loving it. It's definitely one of my favorites to work on because of the beautiful colors and all of the block stitching. My current strategy is to work my way down the edges, and right now I'm trying to get across the top of this big tree right here so that I can have this area all blocked off. So instead of the verse, I'm going to be putting song lyrics here, and I'll need to chart them out. And so having this area blocked out helps me to get an accurate count of how much space I have. This has been a little bit of a struggle because the tree is spread out over like 6 pages. And so the pages are printed back to back, so it's been difficult to piece it together. But I'm working through it and getting there. And then the extra fabric is a giant beast to wrangle each time I try and stitch on it. So that's been a learning experience too. But I love it, and I can't wait to get back to this. And this is going to be a whip that you'll be seeing a lot over the next couple of years, because I want this to constantly be in my rotation so that I can get it done. But those are my whips that I've been working on for the last month, and that is all that I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please like the video, please comment down below, and check out my Etsy page, also linked. And please follow me at Mud Puppy Stitchery on Instagram to keep an eye on what I'm doing in between videos. I appreciate you so very much, and I hope to see you in a couple weeks. So take care, do some bird watching, and stitch all of the things. Bye!